We have been talking about Blade for months now. He's been teased in the game. He was taking a nap in Wakanda, and he looks like one of the coolest characters to ever make an appearance in the hero shooter genre. There's a ton of speculation and a lot of rumors about what to expect from Blade, and we're going to be talking about little hints and bits and pieces of things that we may or may not see. So let's start out with the obvious with Blade. He looks like a DPS duelist character, right? He's got like the sword, the melee weapon. He's gonna probably be a much more close quarters, magic, Iron Fist, Panther-esque character. But what specifically is he gonna bring to the table that we would like to see, that we think the game needs, okay? Well, you've already seen Marvel Rivals experiment quite a bit with mechanics that games like Overwatch, its predecessor, did not mess with. Things like enemy max HP damage specifically, where both Iron Fist and Wolverine deal damage based on the target's max HP. Now, do I think that Blade is going to be a tank buster like this? Characters that are designed to mitigate and keep tanks in check in games that have enormous amounts of sustain? No. I think what they're going to implement with Blade, which is something I would love to see and the game sorely needs, is some kind of wounding effect, or even better, a heal mitigation effect like the DPS passive in Overwatch and the heal cut in Paladins as well. That could be a very, very interesting mechanic that a character that is the Vampire Hunter, right, that is awesome and he looks awesome. That would be a very, very unique and cool mechanic to give Blade that would make him a unique and viable character that is super, super strong, that answers the really, really powerful Giga Sustain ultimates that most supports in this game have. Things like Luna Snow ult, things like Cloak and Dagger ult that are really only countered by, you guessed it, Magneto and maybe Iron Man, right? It would be really cool to see some kind of character apply a 20% heal reduction for a limited amount of time just on their abilities. And I'll show you, we'll have the trailer or different things of Blade going on in the background, but, you know, in the trailer, he looked really, really cool, right? The way he came in with the sword clearly is going to be some kind of close quarters brawler. I'd be surprised if he has any range abilities, but that kind of effect, especially in brawl comps, could make him an incredibly viable and frankly powerful option, with Sustain and Marvel Rivals being probably the strongest abilities in the game, and ultimates in the game are very long-lasting, really meta-defining abilities, and ults have been, in general, throughout this game's life, the support ults or the abilities, you know, we'll see what happens with Phoenix, right? Because she's going to be able to annihilate Loki clones and Loki runes, who Loki, I think, is the best support in the game. He single-handedly gatekeeps dive comps and things like Panther, who are very, very oppressive, don't get me wrong, and they do need to be in the game. Things like Loki clones and runes need to be in the game, but I wonder what the threat of Phoenix brings if she's not getting banned. I think she's going to get permabanned. I think she's going to be the best DPS in the game. She is an absolutely insane character, which we're going to have a guide out on her next week. But, you know, when it comes to Blade, there's a lot of question marks about what he can bring. If Phoenix gatekeeps the Lokis and Rockets with all those deployables out of the game, and the game becomes very clump up and sustained with things like Cloak and Dagger and Luna Snow still, Blade, if he brings that wounding effect or that heal reduction effect, could easily become one of the most powerful DPS in the game on his release, which I would love to see. I think he's got one of the coolest character models. He's an absolute badass. Having that kind of effect on him that lets him play a little bit more into support ults would be really, really cool. And these devs are known for more outlandish, extreme designs, out-of-the-box type of stuff that you've not seen in traditional hero shooters. They are wackier, they're more extreme, they're not afraid to swing the bat. They will go crazy, even if it breaks the game or makes the game unplayable. Like, there have been times where, like, Season 1 of Rivals, I stopped playing because Cloak and Dagger was so broken. They aren't afraid to do this for better or for worse. And I think Blade is going to be another example of a character that comes out and is absolutely busted with a very cool meta-changing and meta-defining mechanic. If he comes out with the wound, it will completely change how Rivals is played. So I would say that's something I would expect to see. Some kind of healing mitigation or wound effect from Blade would be absolutely awesome. It'd be a great addition to the game. What else can we expect for Blade? Well, I really hope that he is a high uptime character, because just to be honest with you, some of the melee characters that have more finite resources that are all about big burst damage can be very volatile designs that aren't very much fun, and they're designed to target backlines, which they're hard to balance, and you can't let them become that good. I hope that Blade is designed to be a very high uptime, not necessarily big burst damage character, right? But I kind of hope he's like a Mei in Overwatch, right? Where, like, you know, Ironfist kind of was like that, where you're kind of like brawling the tanks. Wolverine's leap is a 15-second cooldown. Magic is more about like harassing backlines, with Panther bursting people down. It would be cool to see him be a more, hey, you need to be consistently in this fight, consistently brawling with some kind of lifesteal, like on his abilities, that lets him stay up in the fight. That is not, hey, I have a one-shot combo and I'm going to destroy you instantly. It'd be super cool to see him play a lot more like a Mei in Overwatch, where it's about controlling the fight. There's not really a melee-based character outside of Ironfist who kind of does it that's about controlling the fight. Like, Wolverine is just, hey, I'm going to grab you and do big damage and pull you into my team, and then you're just going to drop dead, right? But if Blade could be the melee character that's about fight control, resource draining, like something like Iron Fist was in Season 2 without the aggressively broken cooldowns and immunity and stuff like that, it would just be so much fun, because I love playing melee characters. I'm absolutely going to be playing a ton of Blade when he comes out. It would be so much fun to actually have that style of play be an option for a non-poke character. That would be so much fun for a brawler. Kind of like a Mr. F, actually. To be fair, the Mr. F rework was very good until, like, he just was doing too much damage and bulldozing backlines, and they reverted those buffs a little bit. But again, he kind of does draw a lot of resources, but it's not the same as Blade, because Blade is like, no offense to Mr. F, Blade is way more badass than Reed Richard. Like, I want to feel like a badass brawler when I am playing Blade, dude, because that's the aura that this man gives. He's lethal, he's cool as shit, and if I could have that style of play without being as goofy as Mr. Fantastic, he just is kind of goofy. He's a Looney Tunes character. He is. I'm not trying to hate, but let's be real for a second. He's a Looney Tunes character. It would be so much fun to have that. So, for me, having Blade be a high uptime, not insane damage, solid damage, but more so about marking and draining like health and resources and lifesteal would be such a cool mechanic. It would be so cool for him to have some kind of lifesteal mechanic where it's not just insta-killing a tank, but that self-sustain that he could build off damaging tanks, like a Junker Queen in Overwatch. Why did I not think of that? Jesus Christ. That would be awesome, and holy shit, I would play the freaking brakes off that character. He would be so awesome. So for me about Blade, he's obviously going to be a close quarters character. I would expect some kind of wound or lifesteal or something like that. Again, this is all speculation. I'm not sure what's actually going to happen with this character, but those are the things I would like to see in the game. I think the game is missing those kinds of things, and if they find a way to fit Blade into that kind of high uptime brawler, I would be very excited about grinding the character, and I think that you guys probably would be too. So what are your expectations for Blade? What are you thinking about the character? What do you want to see in the future? Those are the things that I want to see, and I'm excited to get my hands on him at the middle part of this season. But first, we're going to be locking in with Phoenix in Season 3. Marvel Rivals is on a great track. I'm excited to see where the game goes, and I cannot wait to see you all in game. Take care, boys. Much love. Peace out.